Okay, let's walk through your first injection. I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks. But first, I do want to start with going over how to understand your dosing. So what's really important is to go off of what your bottle says, okay? We're all given different strengths and doses and medications. So this applies to any peptide that you've gotten through Ellie. The most important thing is to follow the directions on your bottle. So when it says inject 50 units, 3 times a week, or if it says inject 50 units 1 time a week, you need to follow that, okay? Now, units is gonna be the number on the syringe. So if it says inject 50 units, you are gonna draw to the 50 line on the syringe. If it says 20 units, you draw to the 20 line. If it says 80 units, whatever yours says, make sure you draw to that line on the needle. Now, you should have got a bag of syringes and a bag of alcohol wipes. All syringes can be different. So you might have ones that go to 100 units. You might have ones that go to 50 units. Whatever you got, use those. And again, just base it off of whatever your bottle says to inject. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to bring attention to, now this applies only to people that are using our GLP-1s. And I'm going to focus on Tirzepatide because that is the most common peptide and injection that we sell. When it comes to Tirzepatide, the milligram amount that's listed on your bottle, this is where people get confused, okay? That number is per 100 units. That's the strength per 100 units. So for example, if you're on tier 1 of Tirzepatide, your bottle might say inject 50 units of 5 milligrams 1 time weekly, okay? You're not injecting 5 milligrams though. That 5 milligrams is the strength per 100 units. But because you're only doing 50 units, you're actually taking only 2.5 milligrams, okay? So for example, I am on the highest dose of Tirzepatide. I'm on tier 4. My bottle says take 50 units of 30 milligrams, okay? The max dose for Tirzepatide is 15 milligrams, but mine says 30 because 30 milligrams is the strength of the medication per 100 units. Okay, so if I were to draw 100 units into this syringe, that would be 30 milligrams. But because I'm only drawing to the 50 line, I'm taking half of 30, which is 15 milligrams. Okay, so going back to tier 1, which is the most common tier for most people watching this, okay, you'll see that it'll say take 50 units of 5 milligrams your first month, which means you're actually taking 2.5. Your second month, it'll say take 50 units of 10 milligrams. You're not taking 10 milligrams, you're taking 5 milligrams. And then your third month will say take 50 units of 15 milligrams, you're taking 7.5, okay? If you're on the microdose, same thing. It'll say take 50 units of 5 milligrams, you're taking half of that, you're taking 2.5. Okay, now that we cleared that up, let's go ahead and draw our injection. So I want you to take 2 alcohol wipes out. We're gonna be extra sanitary, okay? And you are going to wipe off the top of your vial, okay, with one of them. So clean the top of your vial. If it's a brand new vial, you'll have a little plastic cap on it that you just need to pop off, okay? And then you're gonna take your needle, right? And I'm drawing 50 units. So one little trick is you want to go ahead and draw a little bit of air into the syringe so that you can break the vacuum seal and it makes it easier for you to draw the medication. So push the air into the vial, turn it upside down, okay? And then just draw to whatever unit line you are supposed to. Again, mine says 50, but if yours says 40, 45, make sure to just follow whatever yours says. Okay, so as you can see, I'm drawing to the 50 line. You're gonna line up right there, take it out, okay? Another little trick is you want to let your medication sit outside of the fridge for at least 20 minutes. You want it to become room temperature. That will help with it not stinging as much and not causing any bruising when you go to inject. Okay, so then take your other alcohol wipe. I'm actually going to inject with y'all because it is my injection day. And you're going to wipe the skin. Now, when it comes to where to inject, this is personal preference and you might have to play around with it. Some people like the back of the arm, some people like the lower belly, some people like the inner thigh, the outer thigh, above the belly button. You can switch it up. If you find yourself hitting a plateau on your journey, try a different injection site. I always start people with their lower belly. I have, my best friend loves the thigh, so play around with it. Each week, try to, like, if you're gonna do lower belly, go back and forth, side to side. Don't do the same spot every single week. But lower belly, I like it because you have the most fat there. So if you're worried about, feeling the needle, which you won't, it's a baby. But if that's what you're worried about, just do the lower belly to start. Okay, so clean the area you're gonna inject. For the longest time on my journey, I did my lower belly. But once I hit a plateau, I switched to my upper belly. I saw somebody talk about it online, and I actually really love it. I just noticed a little bit more appetite suppression there. Okay, so you're gonna pinch your fat wherever you're injecting, and you're just gonna push it in. Boom, don't even feel it. Okay, and then I want you to slowly inject. Okay, and then once you finish injecting, release your fingers from pinching the skin, and then just pull the needle out. Okay, boom. And that's it. Okay, so a few common questions I always get is, doesn't look like there's enough medication in here. It's an optical illusion, okay? You actually will probably have about 20 units left over from each vial after you have drawn all 4 weeks from it. Another thing is, if your medication arrived and let's say the ice pack was melted, or you were on vacation and it sat outside for a day or two, do not worry, that is totally fine. It can actually last unopened up to 56 days without being refrigerated, as long as the temperature outside is 104 degrees or less. Okay, so as far as when to inject, if you're on tirzepatide or semaglutide, you're gonna be injecting once a week, so pick whatever day works best for you. I typically say start off taking the injection in the morning and see how your body responds. If for some reason you get really tired on it, then you can start taking it before bed. Otherwise, a lot of people do get energy on it. You wanna, take it in the morning. Also, the day you inject, you might feel it working a little bit, but typically it takes a full sleep cycle to really kick in. So I usually feel mine working the most the next day. So these medications have about a 5-day half-life. And that means from the day you inject, about 5 days later, half the medication's out of your system already. So you're probably gonna notice that your appetite is really suppressed after you inject, and then it slowly starts to come back throughout the week. Usually the day or two before your next injection, your appetite's back a little bit. It'll never come back full force, but I actually enjoy that because I get to actually enjoy food for those 2 days before I inject again, and my appetite's pretty suppressed. Also keep in mind, the first month on the medication is the introductory dose. Whether you're microdosing or you're on the full protocol, you're starting off then at the 2.5 milligram for tirzepatide, okay? Same thing for semaglutide. The starter dose is the introductory dose. That is really just to get it in your system and get your body used to it. When you're on the full protocol, month 2 is when you actually bump up to what's considered the starter of the weight loss dose, okay? So that's when you really start to see some results come through. Now, a lot of people do still lose weight their first month, even their first week on this medication, but don't compare yourself or get defeated if you're not one of those people. There's a lot of people that it takes sometimes 2 months for their body to start responding, and then it just melts off, okay? So that's why we have 3 months of this medication sent up front, because it is a 3-month journey at least for your body to really start building up and seeing the results with this, okay? So from my experience, the only thing that I noticed when I first got on this medication was I was a little constipated. Not everybody gets that. For me personally, just adding in a really good pre and probiotic and some fiber helped take care of that problem immediately. Drink lots of water, okay? Add electrolyte packets to your water. That has been a game changer. If you notice any type of side effects, like if you're having any fatigue or headaches or nausea, a lot of times that is related to being dehydrated. It's not the actual medication itself. It's the fact that you're either not eating enough, okay? So make sure you're getting enough protein. That's really important, and drinking enough water. But I'm telling you, when I added electrolytes, the little electrolyte packets you can get on Amazon, when I added those to my water, it was a game changer. Like, it helped me feel so much better on this stuff. Just remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint, okay? Just have faith that this medication is going to work for you. If it starts working week 1, amazing. It might take 2 months, but it is going to work for you. I have been on this medication for 2 years. There's been times in my journey where I've plateaued, and maybe I had to switch up injection sites. Maybe I had to move my body more. Maybe I had to consume more protein, more water. You know, there's a lot of different variables that go into this. The great thing is you have access to the doctors through your online patient portal. Go in there, chat with them whenever you have questions or you need help. I use ChatGPT a lot. I don't know if you do, but if you are familiar with ChatGPT, you can ask it questions. It's super helpful as well. And then you have us to support you. We have an awesome online community called Shot Girls Only. Make sure you're plugged into that. The more you use this as a tool and you develop healthy habits while you're using it, the better off you're going to be long term. You know, work out, move your body, make healthy choices. Sometimes when you don't have cravings for anything, you forget to drink, you forget to eat. We don't want you having that malnourished look, that Ozempic face. You know, I've lost over 95 pounds with this stuff. I get told all the time, like, you don't look like it. You don't look like the typical Ozempic person. And that's because I really made sure to prioritize protein and supplementation, you know, vitamins. All that stuff is really, really important, and hydration. And I'm telling you, you'll be good to go. Take starting pictures, take your starting measurements, take your weight. I know it sucks and it's the last thing you want to do right now, or maybe you've tried a million other things before and you do this every time and it's super defeating. It's going to work for you this time. Take the photos, you will thank me later. Take the measurements, take the videos, everything. You're going to be unrecognizable 90 days from now. You're going to want to document it. You're going to want to make sure you have that starting place because you're going to be blown away.